The Pakistani government is calling on the international community to send even more aid to the country due to the unprecedented floods in the country that have killed over 1,200 people, including 441 children. Now, this request comes as just recently a large shipment of aid was already sent to the country. According to CTV News, earlier this week, the United Nations and Pakistan jointly issued an appeal for $160 million in emergency funding to help the millions of people affected by the floods, which have damaged over 1 million homes. The source of the flood has been the ongoing climate crisis. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres criticized those who still deny the crisis as sleepwalking. He is scheduled to visit Pakistan on September 9th to meet with the government officials. Jointly, the UN and the Pakistani government have come together to make a special appeal to the international community, requesting that $160 million to help pay for the ongoing crisis that has affected tens of millions of people in the country. Upwards of millions of homes have already been destroyed. An earlier appeal for aid by Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif was met with a quick response. Several planes full of aid have been sent to the country. A French aircraft carrying relief goods landed in Islamabad on Saturday. Military spokesman Major General Iftikhar Babar announced that rescue operations were still underway. He also said that the army had established 147 relief camps sheltering and feeding more than 50,000 displaced people, while 250 medical camps have provided help to 83,000 people thus far. According to CTV News, Lieutenant General Akhtar Narwaz, the head of the Disaster Management Authority, said areas of the country expected to receive 15 to 20% additional rains this year actually received in excess of 400% more. Collectively, the country has seen 190% more rain in this monsoon season. With this terrible human catastrophe underway, we are reminded the cause of this situation, and that has been the increasing climate change problem that the world has been facing. Over the last 10 years, there's been an astronomical increase in the number of natural disasters that have occurred, even in areas where they were not common to begin with. And continually, we are still in a situation where we still have to fight against those who would deny the existence of climate change. Now, it has been known for some time, and I noted some number of years ago that it was going to be the global south that felt the impact of global warming first. That meant the actual poor, the global proletariat, the lowest of the low in the world, the poorest, the most vulnerable, were going to be those who were affected by it first. Meanwhile, many of the first world countries are the ones that are denying that this problem even exists or contain a great deal of the people. Mostly first world people are the ones that deny that global climate change is real, and they're the ones in the more advantaged position that feel the least amount of effects of them, even though these disasters do hit the United States as well, since most of the base with the most potential to be able to deal with the situation are in the developed countries. Other than China, they're not really doing anything at all, and this shows, a real kind of global privilege. We can, to a large extent, be insulated from the problem for now. That will not last forever. In the meantime, there are still going to be tens of millions of deaths. Many of them have already occurred. Droughts and famines that occur that doesn't even make the mainstream news because it would be threatening or somehow upsetting to those in particularly American society who are still in denial about it. Not just regular people, but those in the elite that still live in denial, all for the sake of defending their privilege and wealth. We see very clearly here a global class divide in terms of dealing with the consequences of climate change. As it stands right now, any system which tolerates the lie that there is no such thing as climate change, that global warming is not real, is one that is outright suicidal. In many cases, it's all right for someone to disagree with something, to even live in denial of basic scientific fact. It is another thing to allow these people to push the planet and the entire human race towards extinction from their own ignorance. It's about time that all anti-climate change voices be universally ignored. You don't have to silence them, just ignore them. And if they are the kinds of people who hold power in society, like say the Republican Party, maybe it's time to start silencing those people. Because this isn't a matter of opinion, it's scientific fact. Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.